Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris, and today we're going to be adding supports into the mountain. So let's get started. Okay, so recently the mountain has gotten a lot of attention, and I'm going to put my most recent video that I worked on that in the top right so you guys can check that out. But today I want to go ahead and add some supports in because as it is right now, all of the mountain is, or all of the part of it that has been done so far is almost at the same height here. And so I don't have all of the right pieces needed to completely level this all out. So I'm going to save that for another video. But everything that is at this height here is going to get tiled off eventually. And then there will be other supports back here. And then they will all also have tiles on them. And then the top section of the mountain will just rest on those tiles and on those supports. And so that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be tiling this section off here, as well as creating supports in the mountain back here, and also ensuring that there's enough clearance for the trains to go by. So there's a lot of different variables going on here, but I think it can actually work out. So let me bring these two base plates over to the build table and we can get started. All right, so I have this plate and the other plate over here now, with the one with the curve and the one with the incline. And so this whole area back here, at least on this base plate, is good. The only thing that I would need to address is this back section here, but this was a temporary solution to just make this at the correct height. So that's fine. I know this needs to get redone, but everything else on this base plate here, the seam is right at the edge of this. Everything from here over is pretty much good to go. Now this base plate needs a little bit of work. Like I said, this needs to get raised up and I need to make this all just a little bit more cohesive and sturdy back here, but that's not really a problem, I don't think. I can handle that in today's episode, and I can also I have a bunch of these now, so I can use these along with a bunch of Duplo to build up stacks. I don't know how many stacks there is going to be, maybe like one here, one here, one here, and then here. So maybe like 4 along here, and then have like a couple pillars along the back here, and then definitely 1 or 2 in this corner here. So hopefully this could all be super strong. I don't know if I'm going to connect the pillars together at the top. That might be a good idea to do, but I guess we'll just go one step at a time and then see where it goes. So for now, I'm going to take this apart here. Well, not the base, but I'm going to take this out. I'm going to kind of lay it out, and then I'm going to see where I should put all these stacks and whether I should use these or Duplo or a mix of both. So let me get to work on this and I'll let you guys know what I come up with. All right, so this is what I've got so far. It does look pretty rough, but this is kind of the general idea that I'm going for. This does not need to be pretty. It just needs to get the job done. And so I'm pretty much just stacking Duplo up and then just adding the plates on top. And as you guys can see, these blue plates are, or I guess, I think Dark Azure is the official name of these. They are at the same height as these dark gray plates that are going around here, which is really good. And I did have to add in a little bit of support back here, but that seems to work pretty good. Actually, this seems pretty sturdy. And I do plan on also adding in like a little thing like that here just to help bridge that gap and add some plates here so I can tile everything together just to make it extra strong. And I'm probably going to do the same over here as well. I still don't know what's going to go here. Probably more of these, I'm thinking, because I have a handful of them left. And I did add 2 stacks of them to this back corner as well. I think that is a pretty good spot for them. As for this base plate, I have no idea where they're going to go. Probably like here and here, maybe. But that's all dependent on the train track and the clearance that the trains need. So I'm going to have to bring the Orient Express over and test that. I don't need to bring the locomotive because that is pretty much all figured out by this wall here. It's just the passenger cars that hang over the inside of the track, so I need to figure that out, but I don't think that'll be too bad. So let me continue working on this a little bit more and support this other end of this plate here. and also try to figure all this other stuff out, and I guess we'll see where that goes. All right, so I've been pretty busy in here, and I stacked up some of these support pieces all the way up to here. So now this whole section is supported, and I added this plate in as well, which is also supported. So now I can just add a plate in the middle and then span the tiles across, and then this whole area is good. This whole top section is pretty much good. I just need to add a couple more bricks into here to support these plates, and then I just need to figure out this section right here, but that shouldn't be too bad. As for this whole area on the edge of the base plate here, what I figured I would do is actually alternate these support pieces going up and kind of make like a cross pattern with it. And this is exactly 5 of these tall, so it goes 1, 2, 3, 4 would be right here, and then the 5th one starts where this red and tan brick meet, and then so the top of the 5th one would go to here, and then I can just do that all the way down. But I'm actually completely out of these, so I need to go back to the Lego store and get a handful more of them, because I still had a decent amount of them on the Pick-a-Brick wall. So I'm going to try and get a bunch of those sometime either tomorrow or the next day, and then I can continue building this whole section here. I know my goal was to keep this open in the event the train derailed so I could actually get my hands in here, but this is not ideal. But I could just leave this section open and then kind of come through here and also through the tunnel as well. So I don't think it'll be that bad. It's also not a huge space to worry about. So again, I think it's fine. I did not tackle this section yet. I'm probably going to also wait until I get more of these support pieces. So that's another thing on my list to do now, is to go back to the Lego store. So I'm going to probably wait to tackle this simply because I just don't have any pieces to do it. I do have a couple extras right in that bin there, but it's not going to be enough, so I do need to go back to the Lego store anyways. So, and I also might see if they have any more 8x8 plates, because these are all that I have left, which I believe is just 5. So I'm going to have to grab a couple more of those as well, or at least some bigger plates if they have 6x8s or something like that. So this area will be fleshed out in, well, for you guys a couple of minutes, but for me it's going to be another day or two. All right, so it's now the next day, and I unfortunately did not have time to go to the Lego store, but I did manage to find a handful more of these support pieces here, and the color doesn't really matter because they're going to be stacked up throughout the back here anyways. But I was actually thinking about it, and maybe I should just put stacks of them straight up instead, kind of every once in a while, instead of having this whole lattice structure here. This would definitely be strong, especially when I have like a real connection up top here instead of this just one stud. But I don't think it's totally necessary. So I'm gonna, because I don't even think I have enough to do this as well as the stuff in here as well. So I kind of have to play it smart, and I think just doing a couple stacks, maybe like one here, one in the middle, and then one at the end. Or even if I have enough, I could do one here and then one at each, like every 16 studs instead of every 24. So I don't know. I'm going to have to kind of play with it and see how it goes. But I also completely forgot that I need to put in the ties for the rest of this. So I brought over the 1x1 and 1x4 black tiles. So hopefully I have enough to finish it. I don't know if I have enough 1x1 tiles to finish it, but I should have enough 1x4s. So that should not be a problem. But I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to test out the different designs for this back part here, and hopefully it all works out. Okay, so I haven't tackled that base plate yet, but this side is pretty much done here. I did decide to go with the just stacks of it, and it is pretty sturdy. It is just one stud wide though, and so you can do this with it, but I think it's fine, honestly. It once I put tiles along the, or I guess plates to line up with this, and I put plates and tiles along the top here, this will be so much better. I know it's pretty ugly, but I did put a Technic beam in here, and this really just solidified the entire section here, which is great. And so again, this is not the sturdiest thing in the world, but it doesn't need to be. Once I put the plates and tiles on it, it should be just fine. And so that is pretty much it for this base plate. So now I want to shift my focus over to this one because I have a handful of these supports left and I have some Duplo, and so I want to make it work in here, and I want to put ideally one support here and then one closer to where the stack of Duplo is right now. So hopefully I can have enough pieces to do that and get everything up to this proper height here. So hopefully that all goes well, but I guess we'll see how far these get me, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so I removed this other plate here just to have a little bit more working space here, and so I could dump a bunch of pieces onto the table. But I also brought over one of the passenger coaches from the Orient Express, and I came to the conclusion that this is probably the best spot for the pillar here, because it just comes ever so close to the train without actually hitting it. So that's good. Now all that's left to do is to just do the same thing that I did on the other plate, just level this all off, add plates, and add probably some Technic to it as well, just to make everything extra sturdy. And then hopefully that should be that. I might actually lower these a little bit as well, because if I make them 4 tall, then that'll give me space to build across and use Technic. So I might do that actually. And then that will actually give me a couple extra of these supports here, which is great. So I'm probably going to end up doing that, I think. These 8x8 plates as well are either going to get supported and then also have pieces on top of it as well, or they're going to get taken out. I think it's going to be the first option. I'm going to add a bunch of pieces underneath and above them. So then that way, this entire area back here will be good to go. And then hopefully, I don't think I'm going to plate and tile off the front of this today, or this base plate, I mean, but I would like to do the other side as well, just to get a finalized height of the base layer of this, and then I can go ahead and start mapping out where the module that's going to sit on top is going to go. Because at the moment, I don't really have any idea. I'm just kind of placing these pillars around as I'm trying to get an even spread on the base plate here. Obviously, there's some limitations with the track going through the middle and this wall, the curved wall here, and the rock wall out here. So I'm trying to do the best that I can with the pieces that I have. And so this is looking like as good as it's going to get here. I think 4 pillars should be enough. I can't imagine it would be anything. I would need anything more than that, except for maybe 1 pillar on this back end of the base plate here, but I'm going to worry about that later. I'm just going to focus on this stuff for now. Let me make some progress on this, and I'll be right back. All right, so I've been pretty busy on this section here, and I came to the realization that this is probably more than enough support back here, because eventually this wall is also going to get fleshed out a little bit more, and then this is all going to be support, and then these plates are going to be support, and this is as well. So I think it'll be fine, because it'll all be one continuous section here. So again, I think it'll be fine. I can always go back in and add more if I feel that it's necessary. But I did go ahead and start tiling off this section as well as the other one as well. So I'll show that one in just a second here. But this is pretty much what I'm going for here. These 2 pillars back here just have a couple 2x4 tiles on them. I didn't feel the need to tile the entire plate off. So it's just like this and also this as well. And I ran out of 2x4 tiles, unfortunately, because most of them are on the other plate. But I used all of the ones that I had remaining on here, and so I'm missing 2 here, and then a handful here, and then whatever dark gray tiles I use up front here. And that should be that, and then obviously the plates connecting everything as well. So let's go ahead and place this in the city, actually, along with that other module, and we can see how it looks in the city. All right, so both of the plates are in now, and as you guys can see, this side looks really, really good. I'm extremely happy with that. That beam in the back really solidifies everything together. And this side here should be fine. I'm not super worried about it. The only thing is that there's a lot of gap between these 2 posts here and also this 8x8 plate as well. So I am going to have to probably end up doing something with that, maybe adding a couple more of these, but next time I go to the Lego store, I will be sure to pick up a handful more so I can add a post back here, maybe around here-ish. And then once I finish the Mills plate, and then I can put that on, and everything should be good to go there. But that's how it's looking. I'm pretty happy with this, actually. Like I said, I did the dark gray tiles along here. I didn't do this section yet because I wanted to use plates and like 1x and 2x plate here, and then put the 4x6 or bigger plates on top, just so everything is better locked together. And so that's why I didn't do that part yet, but that's why this part is done here. And then I also went ahead and plated and tiled that back section there. And this whole module now is rock solid, which is great. And this section just needs to be raised up a tiny bit more, and then go ahead and finish the rest of this, and then put tiles in, do that support like I said. And that's pretty much that. And so that is actually pretty much the bottom half of the mountain done. It's not like a literal half. You know, I don't know how tall this is going to end up being. It'll probably end up being pretty tall because, as you guys can see, that's the ceiling right there. And so I have a lot of verticality to work with here, which is great. But that's a future problem. I'm not going to worry about that yet. I'm just worrying about all the support first, because once I'm confident in this and it's all said and done, then I can build up and we can make it as high as we want without having to worry about the foundation of it crumbling. So I don't want to have to worry about that. So that's why I'm taking all the precautions here. And I'm going ahead and going completely overboard with all the Duplo and the supports and stuff like that. But on that note, that is going to wrap up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked what I did, make sure to like the video and subscribe, as well as click the bell notification so you don't miss any future uploads. If you guys have any feedback for me on the support structure in here and what you guys think of the mountain, make sure to drop a comment down below for me. I would love to hear what you guys think. But once again, thank you guys for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye for now.